Our topic today is going to be talking about developing a budget. Developing a budget. And if I go to what we have looked at, is that these classes we started it since we started it up to today. When we started looking at the project design, we came to the extent of designing. We started with designing a situation analysis. After situation analysis, we went to pair-wise ranking matrix. After pair ranking matrix, it gives us the priority problem. Now, when it gave us the priority problem, we came to problem tree analysis. The problem tree analysis gave us the causes and the consequences of the problem. When it gave us the causes and the consequences, we came to statement of the problem. Statement of the problem. We stated the problem in terms of what is the problem, what are the causes of the problem, what is the size of the problem, and even went further and looked at, on top of the size, we looked at what are some of the causes, what are some of the consequences, and what do we need to do. Now, after stating the problem, last week we came in and looked at other parts, and that is setting a goal. We looked at what is a goal, and we realized it is one broad statement summarizing what we want to do. One broad statement. We looked at the characteristics of the goal, we looked at every detail of the goal, and we realized that this was something that we needed to put in right and understanding. And when we looked at this, we are looking at it that this is a goal. We looked at its characteristics, its principles. After looking at a goal and setting a goal, we came to setting what? Objectives. We looked at an objective. We identified what is an objective. We realized it's a specific statement that tries to help you to achieve the goal. And after that, we looked at the activities. Now, this is project design. When you're designing a project from unknown to known to sorting out the known. We were from unknown, the situation analysis, to the known. From the situation analysis, it is unknown. We come from the unknown to the known, and then to stating the known, and even trying to implement or to work on the known. Today, I want us to finalize this part of the known, because we are talking about the parameters of a project. We say that when we look at the parameters of a project, we look at the parameters of a project, we say that one of the parameters of a project is time. The second parameter of a project is results. The third part of a project is the resources. So in terms of helping each other, we have looked at the situation. It has given us the place, the results, and even the time. But one thing it has not given us is the fact that we are looking at this. We have known that we have the results. We can see the results in the goal, the objective. We can see what we want. But one thing that is missing is the resources. Now, in understanding the resources today, that is why our lecture today is developing a budget. Developing a budget. Now, I was trying to go to my notes and I realized the budget is in the management, but I've now extracted it for the benefit of our understanding and for growth of each of us. For the benefit of our understanding and for growth of each of us. In the name of, I've done the situation analysis, pairwise ranking matrix. You have also done the problem tree analysis. You have also done the statement of the problem. You have the goal, you have the objectives, you have the activities. What are you then going to do? In short, whatever that is missing in our project that we want to do is to know how much it is going to cost us. And today, I want us to look at developing a budget. Developing a budget. This makes it very easy for us that as we develop a budget, we need to understand what we have and what we need. Now, the principal question in every budget that we develop, it comes as a question in terms of, if you look at the question that we're talking about, we are saying, how much will the project operations cost and what are the sources of funds? That is the principal question. The principal question in any budget, after you have got your objectives, your activities, it is always the question of how much. How much will it cost? Number one. And where do you get the source of funds? So today in our lecture, we want to understand how much can the operations of the project cost and where do you get the funds? And this leads me to understanding the definition of a budget. What is a budget? It can be said that a budget is a financial statement. It is a financial statement. A financial statement that shows. It is a financial statement that shows the cost of implementing the agreed activities in the plan. A financial statement that shows the cost of implementing the agreed activities in the plan. So if I say that I want to go to Kampala, today, that is my goal. What am I going to do in Kampala? I'm going to get this. What are you going to get? I'll talk about, in my going to Kampala, I'm going to buy a laptop for my class. I'm going to buy a book. I'm going to pay my school fee. You have the objectives. Apart from buying a laptop, or the education resources that you need, you're also going to pay the school fee. And on top of paying the school fee, you're also going to do what? To buy your groceries. You are a day scholar and everything. Now, in all this, you have got 3 objectives. But the question is, the main goal is, I was going to Kampala. The objectives are to pay my school fee for this semester. Another objective is to acquire the necessary things I need for education. A laptop, books, pens, ruler, you name it. And thirdly, also to acquire things I'm going to be using in my room, the personal things. A mattress, bed sheets, curtains, gas cylinder, saucepans. You are a new student, you're coming to Burma. Now, you have got 3 main objectives that are answering the goal of going to Kampala. Now the question is, what are the activities for you to pay school fee, for you to buy your personal things, and for you to also buy the scholarship materials? You have all the activities that you have planned for each of them. It might start with getting the money in Ugandan shillings. You never know Kampala, you have to get somebody taking you to Kampala. You don't know the exchange rates, you don't know the Ugandan money, you have to get somebody who knows the value, the real money, and moving like that. Now when you do all these things, you have to write something down. I have to pay my school fee so that I reduce the baggage of money in my possession. After doing that, then I have to go to the next, buy my scholastic materials. They are small and I can carry them. I buy my laptop, I buy my books, I buy my mathematical set, I buy all these. They can go in one small bag, yet they cost a lot. And then I come to the last one of buying everything that I want to use in the house. They are a bit bulky. So after buying them, I need to buy them and put them in the car and then drive to Kampala, drive to Bugema University. So this person has got all this. But the main thing that will influence this person's objectives is the activities. What will influence the activities is the resources. And that is his budget. I can stay in Kampala the whole day doing this because I know my budget and I know where to move. But believe me, I can take 1 hour and I'm done with this because of my budget. Now, let's look at this. What are the importance of budgeting? What are the importance of budgeting? What are the importance of budgeting? Why do we budget? Why do we need to budget? Number one, it helps the manager to know the cost of the planned activities. It helps the manager to know the cost of the planned activities. I don't know your background in life. I don't know your background in life. But my father taught me one thing when I was growing and when I joined Bugema University, that whenever I go home, on top of giving him the great sleep for the previous semester, I must also supply the fee structure. And on top of giving him the fee structure, I must also give him my budget expectation of the next semester. So imagine you are home for 3 months, that is May, June, July, August, that long holiday. But this gentleman, my father, expects me that the day I arrive, if I arrive in the morning, very early in the morning, definitely he will go to work. When he comes in the evening, he needs to see a file explaining everything about me and me being in Bugema and me coming to Bugema next semester. Not that he has not planned for the money, but he needs to know how much it will cost him for the next activities. Now, I will share with him my grade slip. He will look at it and argue it out. After that, he will come to the fee structure and ask me, how much is the fee structure for next semester? School fee for the next semester. We put it aside. Definitely, you talk to him in Kenyan currency. And then after talking about the school fee, you go to the extent of your accommodation. How much is your rent? You put it down. From rent, you need to know how much will it cost you to eat for the whole semester. You put it aside. Then pocket money, you put it aside. Now this was done. And I want to tell you, it made my life easier with my father. Everything was open. And these questions were not being asked between me and my dad. My mother was there, my sister was there, my brother was there. Remember, at this level, my sister is not even a secondary, is not even a college student, not even a university student. They're still at secondary. My brother was also still at secondary. But this was a way to tell them, your elder bro is doing something that I want you guys to know. So that by the time you come, you don't say that I am bad. Or by the time you grow up, when he's supporting you, you don't say that dad never used to do this to you. So it helped my dad to know the cost of the planned activities. My school fee, my feeding, my transport, my pocket money, and even my studies. And this made life easier. That every semester, he has got a rough idea of what I will need. So most of the time, I want to tell you, whenever I could go to my father, his expectation was always higher than what I give. Why? Because with all these documented materials, you have no way to manipulate the figures. Number two, a budget will help the manager to know how to raise funds. A budget will help you to know how to raise funds. That is the budget. You know how much you need. You don't stress yourself that you wake up today and you need 10 million. Where will you get it? But when you budget, you know how to raise these funds. So if today you're having too much, then you don't spend it all because you know tomorrow you're needing too much. And that is because of the budget. It helps you to know how to raise funds. Number 3, a budget shows the project, if the project can be implemented. With the budget, you can know if the project can be implemented. It is only through the budget that you will know. Just imagine you come to Bugema University and then Bugema University tells you the school fee for this semester is 5 million. From nowhere. You find a poster that all those who have registered in Bugema this semester, we want to inform you that your maximum school fee, 100% school fee for this semester, if you're a day scholar, will be 5 million. If you're a boarding student, it will be 8 million. I don't know who will be here, but most of us will move. Because to some people, 8 million is the whole degree for them in Bugema. To some people, 8 million will be the whole course for them. So it is a budget that will tell you if the project can be implemented or not. And then the budget helps in monitoring implementation of and controlling expenditure. Budget helps in monitoring, implementation, and expenditure. If you budget properly, you know how to monitor your things. If you budget properly, you know how to spend your money. My dad used to tell me one thing. It is not the school fee that I give you that matters most. What matters for me is the fact that every semester when you come here, you give me a grade slip. It motivates me. I need to know. And whenever you come home, last time, there's a time I went home and I went with an assessment sheet, a collection of all the grades that I had. He was not aware of it, but he asked me, can I see your grade slip for last semester? I gave the grade slip. And after giving the grade slip, I gave him the results, the registration card. And he asked me, fine, you have been giving me this, and today you have added this. What's the difference? That this is a grade slip, it has grades, Dad. And this is a registration card showing you the courses that I did this semester. But so far in my life in Bugema University, since you started paying my school fee, these are the courses I've done. I've done semester 1, semester 2, semester 3. So there is what we call an assessment sheet. It has everything of what I've done in Bugema. And then my father asked me, then how long are you still in Bugema? Then I brought the bulletin. And he said, which Bible is that? I said, no, this is the academic Bible that I'm using. When I joined Bugema, it was this time. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. You're paid for this, you're paid for this, you're paid for this. What is remaining is this. This is what I've done this semester. Now, with this, and he knew how much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, this time when I brought my father all these details and put them down, he was one of the most happiest men because he sat down with a pen and tried to calculate how much he needs to give me. And my last semesters in Bugema, I was staying and I was at peace like a king because this guy gave me the money in full and everything was sorted. Everything was sorted. When this guy got to know that he can even pay school fee in Kenya, it was even worse for me because they give you a receipt. You go home, we have paid. You go home. So it became something easier for him to implement, to monitor, and even control the expenditures. Now, this leads me to know how, therefore, do we budget? How do we budget? This is a question that we need to ask. How then do we budget? How do we budget? Now, for us to budget, it will take the following stages. Number 1, we need to look at the activities Look at the activities in each objective. For an example, my objective is to pay school fee, to pay my school fee for this semester. What activities are under that? I have to wake up, I have to leave Bugema main campus, I have to take a taxi, I have to go up to Kampala, I have to change my money. After changing my money, I have to pay my school fee. So you realize there are several activities for me to pay the school fee. And that is activities. Now, after identifying those activities, for each activity, we identify the different resources needed. For each activity, we identify the resources needed. For example, we are still going to Kampala to pay school fee. That is my objective, to go to Kampala to pay the school fee. Now, in going to Kampala to pay the school fee, what activities do you need? Number one, I need to take a taxi to Kampala. Like, for example, taking a taxi to Kampala as an activity. Taking a taxi. Taking a taxi to Kampala. If that is your activity. Number two is telling us we need to identify the different resources needed. What do you need to accomplish this idea of taking a taxi? One, I need money. Two, for me to take a taxi, I need to take a boda boda from my place to the road. When I reach the taxi and I'm paying the taxi up to Kampala, just taking a taxi, how much money do I need? From Bugema to Kampala, I need 5,000. That is times 2, it will be 10,000. Boda boda, from my place to the road, it is 2,000. That is boda boda from my place to the road. Now when I reach Kampala, boda boda to the bank, another 2,000. So you realize boda boda from my place to Kampala, to the road, it is 2,000. I need to budget times 2 because I'm coming back. That is 4,000. So for me only to go to Kampala and come back by taking a taxi, minimum amount I need is what? This activity alone, I need 14,000. So we are saying identify the resources needed. What resources do you need to accomplish taking a taxi? I have 1, the cash, and 2. So I can leave it, not cash, but I can change it to transport. I have my transport, 5,000 going and 5,000 coming back, and then I have boda boda, 2,000 going, 2,000 coming back. So for me, only take a taxi in Bugema and go to Kampala. I need 14,000 to and fro. Then, number 3, how do you budget? Number 3, how do you budget? You have known the activities, you have identified the resources needed, and lastly, we then cost the reasons and prepare the summary budget. We cost the resources. We then cost the resources. We then cost the resources and prepare the budget. You cost all the resources that you needed and then come up with a budget. And that is what I've done. I've only, in part B here, I've identified number 2. Number 1 is saying, identify the activities in each objective. So our activity here that we have identified is taking a taxi to Kampala. Now, what are the resources that we need? We need transport, taxi transport, and then we need boda fee. On top of that, we have said the cost of the resources. So how much is transport for taxi? We have said it is 5,000 from Bugema to Kampala and coming back times 2, which gives me 10,000. And then I have boda fee. Boda fee in Bugema. It is 2,000 from my hostel to the road or to taxi park times 2, which gives me 4,000. So the only activity that we have of going to Kampala, taking a taxi to Kampala, I need to have 14,000 set aside. And that is what we are saying. Identify the activities in each objective, taking a taxi to Kampala. Identify the resources needed, transport fee and boda fee. Then cost the resources. What are you costing? We have costed 10,000 for transport taxi, and we have costed 4,000 for boda fee. Now, how much the project operations will cost, how much the project operations will cost, depends on, for you to know how much you need to budget for, how much you need in terms of cost, will depend on certain factors that you need to have. So if I look at how much, that's the question, how much will the project operations cost, will depend on, one, the amount of money. How much will it cost? How much will the project cost? We are saying it will depend on the amount of money that is available for the project and its sources. The amount of money available. You can think of a project of 10 billion. Let me say that you want to build a house and my budget is 1 billion. Question is, do I have it? A 1 billion house is a story building, for an example, in Uganda. But the question is, I don't have the 1 billion. So which project will I go for? I can never go for a story building. I have to go for something small. If, let's say, Bugema University school fee is 10 million per semester, do our students have the 10 million per semester? No. So they will not go for Bugema University, they'll go for other university. Number 2, how much will the project operation cost will depend on the objective and the scope of the project. It will depend on the objective and scope of the project. What is your objective? I've known some students in Bugema University, where I've studied from, that came to Bugema and have never graduated. And only to realize that I've either registered in Bugema once or twice. And some of them have never even done an exam. I know a student who ate the parents' money. I'm saying eating, because even the first semester that she came to Bugema, she paid 50% school fee. And after paying 50% school fee for 4 good years, the student was kind of, I'm finishing. Even to the extent of the graduation, the parents were outside Uganda. So they could not come for the graduation. So they were all waiting, and those times there was nothing like this online what. But they were all waiting for the photos. He bought a gown. The student bought a gown, and after buying the gown, what happened? Took photos and sent to the parent. And it was, I've graduated. Certificates are out, yes. Go bring your certificate because we have a surprise for you. Now, where do you get the certificate and the transcript? The student came to Uganda, went to Nasa Road, forged the transcript, forged the certificate. Sent to the parents, they're very far. Now the students, the parents are kind of, they were in the UK, they sent for him. This is good. Of course, NASA grades are always the best. You performed better, excellent. So the student is kind of, the parents are kind of, our surprise is, we are ready to pay for your masters in the UK. So this is everything. You apply. You have everything. Apply. The students kind of, yeah, I'm going to apply. Yes, I'm applying. You know, I'm waiting for the registrar. What. At the end of the day, you know, I'm waiting for the registrar, you know. Things ended up being very funny. And what are they? They ended up on a wrong note. Because the university where he applied for to make the parents happy that he has applied, communicated to the registrar of Bugema University, approved this as your student. Number one registration number is not Bugema University registration number. So you realize his objectives were different. And his scope depends on the geographical location. Scope depends on the design. Scope depends on the methodology that you're going to use. The project operations cost will also depend on the geographical coverage. How big is it? Geographical coverage. If you look at this, we're talking about you managing a project in Uganda. That's not a small project. Unlike me managing a project in Luwero district. That too is not a small project. Unlike somebody who is managing a project in Bugema University. That still is not a small project. Unlike somebody who is managing a project in the department. All of us have got different geographical coverage. Materials, resources required. What materials do you require? All this is to know how much the project will cost. 5, whether project staff expect extra pay or extra work involved, the allowances. As you start this project, are you going to be thinking of allowances? These are some of the areas that you need to consider. On top of knowing the activities and the resources, all these are factors that will affect your budgeting for the project. Number 5, whether people at the community level will be involved and they will be paid. Payment of the community members. For example, you go to the community, you have a meeting with them, or you have these functions in the community, and then you have to give them lunch and transport. Are you going to have all this? You will realize those are on top of the activities that you need. And lastly, whether external consultants will be involved and be paid. We are talking about consultation fee. So on all of this, we are saying that the right way to budget is first, consider the activities in each objective. And as you consider activities in each objective, identify the resources needed for each activity. And as you identify the resources needed for each activity, come and cost the resources and prepare a budget. Cost them and prepare a budget. That is the first part. But the question is, you have costed, you have known how much each objective is going to take. Other extras that you need to know how much it will cost to implement this project is, we need to know the amount of money that is available. Yes, we have budgeted, but how much is available? Yes, we have budgeted the activities, but what is our objective and what is our scope? You are thinking of running a project in the whole of Uganda. You are thinking of running a project in the whole of East Africa. You are thinking of running a project in Bugema University alone. The geographical coverage. How big is it? The materials that you need, the cars, the books, the handouts, the interviews, the allowances that you're going to have. If people work extra, are there allowances? They have gone and slept outside, are there allowances? Are there transport allowances? Payment of the community members, you're having a meeting with the community members, are they going to be paid? All these are extra things that we include on our how to budget. And this makes the project budgeting a very taxing thing that most of the time many don't want to do it. They hire accountants to do it. Now, how do you close a plan to make a budget? Have your objectives. How do you close a plan? Costing a plan. You already have your plan. to make a budget. Now the question is, how do you cost? Number one, you have to identify your objective. Identify your objectives. What are your objectives? All this must be identified. And as I identify this, we are saying develop activities for each objective. It's the same thing. We develop the activities. After developing activities, then we cost each activity. So this leads you that whether you are going to make a budget or whether you are going to cost your plan, then it is the same activity that you're going to be doing, and this makes life move. Now, question is, we started by how much money do you have available? Then the right answer is, how do we raise funds for a project? How do we raise funds? How do we raise funds for a project? Raising funds. How do we raise these funds? There's so many ways we can raise these funds. Number one, and which is always the easiest and the best and the trusted and where most of us run, is what? Your own household. So from your own, you can have your funds. Just from your own. Number two, possible funders. You can have your budget from the funders. They announce, you apply, you get. In Uganda, we have another possible funder, which is microcredit scheme. They are everywhere. Microcredit. Why are they microcredits? Because they give you small amounts of money and you move. You can also get funds from unsolicited proposal. Unsolicited proposals. This comes that you just write a proposal, nobody has asked you for it, but you send it to the UN. You send it to what? They look at the project and then they say, yeah, we have some money. This is our intention. This is our initiative. This is our goal. Let's support this guy. Sometimes we can raise money from the fundraising events. From the events. The Kenyans have it as a round base. We organize an event, we fundraise. In Uganda here it is common, you find people running for Rotaries organizing Cancer Run, Rotary is organizing Kabaka Run, Airtel is organizing. All those, they're always money because you have to register with a fee. Registration is 20,000. Buying a t-shirt is 20,000. So at the end of the day, you're paid how much? 40,000. And then they tell you all the collections that are made of this are going to support such and such an hospital in Mengo. All these that are going to do, or every money that you're going to collect this, is going towards helping the government set the Cancer Institute in Mulago. And this has made life easier for us. Some of the ways you can also get money is appeals for funds. You just write an appeal for funds, and these have gone through in most of the time. Some of the cases is SACCOs that we know, loans from the bank, donations, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, a sample of budget I've given you here, a detailed budget, a sample of a detailed budget, that if you look at the notes, the budget element, you have the first column there is the budget element, account description in line with items. We have, so with this, apart from having all the objectives, and activities that you're budgeted for, a good budget will not only include things to do with the objective alone. A good budget will not only include things to do with objectives alone, but a good budget will have things to do with personnel. The people that are going to be working here, how much are you going to pay them? how much are you going to pay them? For an example, you have the project managers, the program coordinators. How much are they being paid? The project managers, how much are they being paid? The administrative assistants, the secretary, how much are they being paid? You have the drivers, you have the cleaners, you have office workers or project workers. All these are the personnel. Now, on top of having your objectives, you realize you need to include their salaries. And this should be counted per month, per year, and everything that is planned for. Now, another section that you need to include and need to consider is the administration cost. Administration cost. So I will also consider administration cost. In some organizations, they call them organization operations cost. So some of the things that they have here is things like office equipment. Things like cars. We need to move. Things like communications, telephones, like let's say communications. You talk about the phones. You talk about the emails. Today we even have others like podcasts in serious organizations. They talk about the Twitters. And all these make life easier when you budget for them. And even somebody will even think of, on top of all the administration costs, you also think of the bank charges. You know, sometimes we budget, but forget that even the bank takes some 2,000, 3,000. At the end of the day, you are trying to come to an agreement that you have spent some money and things are not moving. Why? There's some money that are not seen and yet their bank charges. So ladies and gentlemen, in trying to understand this, I brought out some simple case study for us. Now, if you look at your screen where you are, I'm talking about the case study sample of a project design. Now, for you to understand a project design is what we discussed when we are starting the class. That we say that we need knowledge on 1, situation analysis, 2, pairwise ranking matrix, 3, problem tree analysis, and 4, problem statement. That was the first lecture that we had. From there, we came to next, project goal. From the project goal, we came to project objectives. From the project objectives, we looked at project activities. That was the last week lecture. And today, we are finishing all this idea of project design by looking at developing the budget. Now, I have a sample here that I was trying to think about at night. Now, let's look at this. I have a goal, and this goal is to prevent the spread of cholera in Bugema University main campus. Prevent the spread of cholera in Bugema University main campus. That is the goal that we have here. Prevent the spread of cholera in Bugema University main campus. If that is the goal, allow me to write it down. The goal is to prevent the spread of, because of issues that we have today, let us be more lively. Prevent the spread of COVID-19 in Bugema University main campus. Bugema University main campus. Now, those are our objectives. That is our goal. What are the possible objectives? What are the possible objectives? I had like 2 objectives. Allow me, now that I was thinking of cholera at night, now I have to think of another, of COVID-19. To sensitize students on the effects of COVID-19. To sensitize students on the effects of COVID-19 in BUMC by Feb 2022. Second objective that I can have, to provide, here I had medication. Let me say, to provide, how do you call it? This where we separate the student, the affected, to provide an isolation center to the affected students in BUMC. To provide an isolation center for the affected students in BUMC by Feb 2022. Because there's no way I can talk of sensitizing them and yet I don't have the isolation center. I'll let you be specific. If the thing is there, then I need to set this by January 2022. It needed to be there. Now, let's look at those 2 objectives and then we try to develop some activities. Now, I'll only do one objective, and let's say activities for objective 1. This is objective 1, this is objective 2. So let's have the activities for objective 1. Activities for objective 1. What are those activities? Number 1, I'll kind of, because number 1 is I'm going to sensitize the students on the effect of COVID-19 in Bugema University. Now, I will identify, I can start by identifying the facilitators. I can start by identifying the facilitators. I identify the facilitators. These must be doctors who have gone through this training on COVID-19. And then I can also go further and identify the stakeholders. I can identify the stakeholders. Because it is the students here. I need to bring BUSA, I need to bring BU admin, I need to bring the heads, the deans of schools, I need to bring the BU, help the hospital, and there are many, etc. All these are the stakeholders that I need to identify. Number 3, I need to meet with the stakeholders. These are activities I'm going to do in objective 1. Meeting the stakeholders. All these are activities to sensitize the students. Dialogue and training the stakeholders. We talk about training the stakeholders. After training the stakeholders, the activities can be many. I can even organize sensitization meetings. Organize sensitization meetings. And lastly, the list is endless. I can even talk about place banners. I can place banners on effects of COVID-19. Place banners on the effect of COVID-19 On this, placing banners, I want to tell you, when we applied for National Council to allow us to teach online, they asked us, Bugema University, have we developed a small video? Just a small video of 3 minutes or 5 minutes maximum, but it was 3 minutes maximum. Because in advocacy, you say that you can only advocate between 90 seconds to 120 seconds. Between 90 to 120 seconds, that is the best advocacy that you can do. So if you're going to do a video, we have to do that. So imagine we were taxed that we must indicate a video of less than 2 minutes. But the National Council was saying 3 minutes. But they wanted a video of less than 2 minutes to show how do we manage COVID-19 in Bugema University. For an example, they wanted to see the VC coming to the gate and signing, putting on the mask and doing everything. The askaris helping him out. And as he passes the gate, everything is taken care of. By the time he reaches his office, for an example, what does he do? By the time a lecturer reaches the office, what does he do? A student comes to class, what do they do? So they wanted all these things that we're talking about to be put in a video of 2 minutes. That even when we're in class, what are we looking at in class? What are we looking at in class? The mask, the social distance, and all this was supposed to put in a video for 2 minutes. I don't know which university did it. But it was something that was done. And most of us, we ended up doing things short. At the gate, what is happening? In the offices, what is happening? And in the classrooms, what's happening? Now this gives us the last part, that we need to identify the resources for activity. So let's say we have taken the activity number 1. This is the activity we have taken. So we need to identify the resources and cost them. So only activity 1, this is activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So looking at all these activities, look at activity 1. Can you identify the courses? The course, like now, for me to identify the facilitators, what do I need? 1, let me say I need transport. Because all the facilitators are in Kampala or in Luwero district. If this is it, I need to also have communication. Remember, it is identifying the facilitators. I need transport, I need communication, and the person identifying will also need things to do with food per diem in Bugema University. That's what they give you. So just imagine identifying facilitators. I'm leaving from Bugema to go to the Luwero district headquarters to identify a facilitator that can help me come and sensitize students on COVID-19. How much transport do I need? Because it is COVID time, I need COVID-free car. So you realize the university allows you to go to drive, and let's say the university fuels the car. So how much do we need? And I'm the one driving to avoid all the expenses of COVID-19. So you realize transport to Luwero to and fro gives me about 150,000. Remember, you are driving. So let's give it, because you are budgeting, it is 75,000 times 2 gives me 150,000. Because it is a car being driven. You have fueled the car with the current rate of fuel. Number 2, communication. Let's say averagely 20,000 Uganda shillings times 1, which will give me 20,000. And then per diem in Bugema University, if we are moving every day and coming out, let's say they give you 70,000. You're just going for 1 day, so it is 70,000. So to me, For only activity 1 of identifying the facilitators, I need, that is 0, 0, 0, I need 0, 5, 14, I need 240, really? Yes, 240,000, only to identify facilitator. Then I come also and talk about identifying the stakeholders. This is for activity A. Activity B, you need to identify the stakeholders. How do you identify them? Then you realize you're not going to do it alone. Then, to me, what I need there in identifying the stakeholders, we shall have number 1, let me say, we shall have a meeting. I need to call for a meeting, administrators. Now when they call for a meeting of administrators, then they will need transport. Because some of them come all the way from Gayaza. When they need transport and it is a meeting, they need allowances because nobody is cooking for them. They need allowances to sit in this meeting. And then the coordinator must always have communication. And then after identifying them, what happens? You need to write letters. So we also need what? Stationery. So how much will it cost? Let me say, I need to call for a meeting. How many meetings? I need 1 meeting. This meeting might not cost me any amount. Calling for the meeting. So as I call for the meeting, let me say I have one meeting, and it is at 0 cost. So the total there is, it is already catered for. They are workers of the university. So there is no budget for it. They have to come for the meeting. Now, as they come for the meeting, one thing I have to give them is transport. And let me say I give them transport of 50,000 each. It is 50,000 to and fro. It is an allowance. So it becomes 50,000 transport for them. And then I have allowances. Let me say, because we are not cooking food and we are limiting gathering, we give them, just like at per diem, 50,000, but because they are in Bugema University and it is per person, let me say there are 6 people, so it will be 300,000. And even transport, there are 6 people, so it is 300,000. Now, I have communication. It is only one person going to communicate. So we give it 50,000 times 1 person, which will give you 50,000. And then we have stationery, the papers we are going to use and everything. Let's equate them to, like, let's say 50,000. They need pens, they need notebooks, times 6 people. Let me say 50 might be mad. Let's say 20,000 per person, a pen, a notebook. And then at the end of the day, we are writing letters that is already there. So it is 120,000. So you realize activity B alone, somebody will need 300 plus 300, 600 plus 120, 720 plus 50. So activity B alone, we shall need 790,000. So this one, you are going to cost each objective. So after costing each objective, that is when you come to the other part. If the project is going to take this. Project is going to take this. Then what about the objectives? How much? If the project is going to take this, the rest. So in your representation of a budget that you are going to do for the coursework, to finish the coursework, for your representation of the budget, I expect to see you what I've done right now. But on top of this, I need to see a summary of the budget in your project. I need to see a summary of the budget. And in this, you are going to have, your summary is going to have your budget. You are going to have personnel costs. Personnel costs, you identify them. Who are they and how much do you pay them? How much are you going to pay them per month? Multiply by 12, you get per year. So let's say project manager is going to be paid 2 million monthly. He's going to be paid 2 million. And as you pay 2 million per year, it will be 2 million. For easy mathematics, let me say 1 million. Per year, that will be 12 million. So you have the project coordinator, the secretary, all of them, you are done with them. And each section, you give it its total. So you have the subtotal for that section. Now, you come to the project operations. Project operations. And in project operations, you are going to have all these, the vehicle, how much, office furniture, how much. These might not have the monthly or what. They might have the final price here. A vehicle will cost us, let's say, 250 million. That is a double cabin and it is a new one. And then office furniture, you list all of them and their prices, and you realize they will cost us, like, let's say they will also cost us about 300 million. So you realize only that in terms of project operations, we have 550 million spent. And then we have the part for project management. And in the project management, now you come and tell me, objective one. Objective one, how much? Remember, you have done those summaries, the costing of each activity in objective one. You add the total. So you realize objective one, we are going to spend, let's say 2.1 billion. 2.1 billion. And then we have objective 2. In objective 2, you realize you're not going to spend so much, so you have like 670 million. And then we have objective 3, which is the biggest. And then objective 3, you realize you're spending about 11.671 million. So when you add the totals, you have the subtotals here for the project operations. You have the subtotals here for personnel. You have the subtotals. You have the subtotals for the project operations. And then you have the subtotals for project management. And this is the budget you're going to submit to me, marking the end of the coursework. Any question?